Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the BTS with Joe show. Thank you for joining us for another episode. We are finally back to making these after, God, how long? So,
The last time I was
months?
here was like July. I don't know if I was the last person in here, but
I think I had two more people in here after that, and then just cold turkey stopped. I was too busy with work. But anyway, we're back at it, and this is Connor Hernan, who you all should probably know by now.
you can't get rid of me.
Can't get rid of Connor, so he came back for another one. Today we are going to be unpacking Stranger Things and that finale that we all wish we could have had, episode 9. That never happened. But I do kind of want to talk to you about some of the theories and things that I've seen online and kind of get your take. Connor, if you don't know this, if you haven't watched any of these episodes before, Connor is a movie buff, as we like to call him. He loves to watch movies and talk about them and everything else. So, all right, let's get into the Stranger Things season finale. Well, what do you think of the season overall?
I mean, I'm definitely on the disappointed side of the internet. Not that everything has to be a side of the internet. I think overall, like, especially just with like how long the wait was for it, I think they suffered a lot from that and it made it worse than it should have been. But I think that somewhere along the way, in between season 4 and season 5, they just lost the sauce. Like whatever it was making that show special just completely disappeared. And like there were definitely parts of it that were like fine. There were parts of it that I enjoyed. There were parts of it that were really cool storytelling, and I thought there was a lot of good like imagery like hidden in there. I just think they did a very poor job bringing it out, and they wasted a lot of time. And there was a lot. It was very like. It felt like maybe this is a cliche thing to say, but it felt like it got very like Disney Channel at the end, which is just unfortunate because I've been rewatching the earlier seasons. Like I'm about halfway through season 1 right now, and it's genuinely like a different show.
Yeah.
It's actually shocking, like the drop in quality between season 1 and season 5. And I don't know yet. We'll see as my rewatch gets along. I don't know when that happened. Maybe it happened earlier and I just didn't notice. I think season 4 was still pretty sick, aside from I did not enjoy the bit in California. But yeah, somewhere in between that, they just lost it. And season 5 was like, at best, like a 5 out of 10. Like there was still some good stuff, but it's just like, it didn't like ruin the show. But I just can't be bothered. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I felt like it wasn't nearly as bad as Game of Thrones, where Game of Thrones went from this absolutely elite, like 9.9 out of 10 show to like a 2 out of 10 ending. And it was just infuriating the way it ended. It wasn't that bad. They still landed the plane a little bit, brought it all back, kind of wrapped up everyone's characters pretty decently. There wasn't anything really infuriating about it, but I almost would rather have something where I was infuriated over it and they took a big swing than, like you're saying, Disney Channel, where every move is played safe and you don't get anything satisfying out of the end, and you just feel like you watched the end, you were kind of there, but there was no emotional impact out of it. Like the final epilogue was decent, but it just like I felt like I wasn't ready for it to end because of the way the season had gone. It felt like we were starting a new season that was a totally different show, and then it was just like, oh, it's over. I feel like you could have played that epilogue off of one other episode based. Season 4 kind of ended really well, setting up season 5. You could have had one more episode, and that would have been like your final episode. And then you could have had your epilogue, and it would have been a complete show. You didn't need a whole season. And I feel like because they got into a whole other season, the writers had to kind of stretch everything for time. And then they introduced more lore and more just everything, more characters, there's more villains, and it just becomes way too long of a show, and you have to start telling new stories in order to get those characters established. And so it's almost like a new season 1 you're starting a totally different show. You jumped time. If they'd never jumped time, if they'd just gone straight out of season 4 into, kind of the finale, I feel like that would have worked a lot better.
Yeah, I definitely get that feeling because, like, I was sitting there after season 5 and I was thinking to myself, like, you have all that new lore and there's a lot of really cool stuff in there, at least to me, like, genuinely. Yeah. I mean, I hate the whole idea of, like, the wormhole thing in Dimension X. That really bothers me, mostly because, like, there was no, like, if you watch the first 4 seasons of that show in a vacuum, you're never, ever, ever going to be able to guess that was what was happening.
Yeah.
Which is just really bad writing because you can't have a mystery. Like, that's like if, I don't know, like Agatha Christie wrote like a murder book where the murderer was like some guy, random dude that wasn't introduced to the last chapter. It's like,
right.
Do we really like care?
Yeah.
So that was pretty frustrating, but there's still a lot of like really good, I think, lore, especially like in that final episode. Like, I really enjoyed the whole, at least the concept of the whole thing with like Vecna and the Mind Flayer and like that scene with him and Will in the, like, where they're experiencing that memory of his. I think that was brilliant.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jamie Campbell Bower, by the way. He like carried that final episode on his back. But it left me feeling like I needed like 2 more seasons rather than just the one.
Right.
And like they could have spent even more time with it. So like it's almost like they had to pick one. Like, don't go into that stuff and just finish.
Yeah.
Or actually spend the proper amount of time with that, fleshing that stuff out and like making it actually interesting so that like your final battle and your big conclusion isn't like 4 minutes long. And
right.
like, no offense, but offense to this show, incredibly anticlimactic.
Yeah.
Because it just like, it just leaves like it's like kind of emptiness there, which is just frustrating. And I get it because like the big issue I think with, it's very hard to tell a story that's that long and like centers around like a mystery.
Yeah.
Because you're never able to actually satisfactorily answer that question. Right. Like there's so many other things out there that are like that I'm just like completely worried about how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Severance. Like, how do you wrap up Severance?
Severance is good because you don't know what's going on.
Right.
And if they do a bad job telling you what's going on,
the whole show's over.
And it's going to be very difficult unless they already had it in mind.
Right.
You've got to start with the answer, and the people from Stranger Things clearly did not.
No, they started by writing 1 episode of like that first season. They wrote 1 episode, and then they pitched. Actually, if I think you can find this online. But their original pitch was just an epic, just what would you say, collage of a million 90s and like 80s sci-fi movies.
I saw that the other day.
So cool.
Awesome.
And they just basically just took all this stuff from like Spielberg and, James Cameron and like all these people and just edited it all together. Mm-hmm. We're like, this is the story we're going to tell. It's just like an awesome collage of everything. And that's what made the show really work. Was it was built on nostalgia and it was built on a lot of old, lore, basically all being combined into one, which was a great idea. But then you do have to have an end in mind. Mm-hmm. And that was always the thing. I remember season 2 of that show coming out, and there was an interview with the Duffer Brothers, and they said, "Oh no, we have an end in mind, and we think that this show is going to go for maybe 4 seasons," which makes sense when you watch. Season 4, it's kind of the conclusion of the whole season or of the whole show. But then it just gets to the end of season 4. And season 4 struggled from something that you also talked about, which was introducing a new major villain every time. Like it worked where there was a different monster every time because it was like, oh, we don't really know where they're coming from. Like this kind of works. But season 4 kind of just introduced a totally different kind of villain, and so people struggled to like grasp onto that a little bit, but it could have worked as just like, okay, this kind of ties everything together, because that's kind of what season 4 did. Is it started back at the beginning, it tied 11 through everything, and then it was supposed to just kind of wrap it up. But I'm pretty positive after Netflix took their long break between seasons 3 and 4, they decided, you know what, we can stretch this for 1 more season and make a little bit extra money. And then the Duffers are in a weird situation there. It's like, okay, we have to extend season 4 a little bit, but then in order to make a good extra 5th season, we have to introduce a little bit more lore. And they did like a Broadway play somewhere in there too. And that introduced more stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was like you kind of had to work with all these extra things. And that was my biggest problem with, I mean, this is any studio, but Netflix being, now joining the list of, it's just,
Oh, they've been on the list.
you're so money hungry that you don't know when to stop a show or, stop a good movie series. It's like Star Wars got extended a little too long.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of these examples, right? But I've just felt that as I was watching this whole season. There were cool things. Like I loved that they gave Will powers because I was like, finally, this guy has been like just doing this neck thing for like 4 seasons. And I feel like he had no purpose other than that. So they finally gave him something, which was awesome. And then they did nothing with it. He was in like that one scene with Mind Flare at the end. And that kind of went nowhere. It still felt like he should have had more of an arc than what he got in season 5.
Yeah.
And then they just absolutely ruined his character too with just that whole long, like 6.5 minute, 7-minute scene of him coming out. And it was just horribly directed. And so it just made his character seem more dumb just by the way they handled it. And I was like, this could have been a great scene. Like the whole series has been kind of leading to that.
You're like answering the question of like his entire character in that scene. And his whole arc like culminates there.
And it was such a bad
scene. Like, who wrote that? Even the actor, like I don't know if you've seen Noah Schnapp's interviews about it, but he's clearly like, who wrote that?
Yeah.
Like that's not how this works.
Right.
And they know that because they had a perfect scene with Robin in season 3.
Yeah.
Like perfect.
It was a great scene. And then just bombed it.
I don't know what happened to that, but I don't know.
The point when I knew that scene was just beyond coming back, I was not going to recover, was when they did the individual shots of each person saying "me too" and then standing up, and I was like,
what is this, the Council of Elrond?
It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Also, the timing of that scene, like it should have been in like episode 2 or 3, not in like episode 7 right before the finale is about to start.
Well, it's like they had this whole arc leading up to this moment for him.
Yeah.
And then at the last second, they were like, oh, we actually forgot to put that most important moment of his arc into the show.
Oh, we got to edit that back in.
How do we do this?
Yeah.
Which is just such a shame for like how important that moment is to like the story and the people. It's just like, why did it have to be that way?
Yeah.
Like it's longer.
And then the characters they have in the room don't make any sense.
Like, why are you coming out to Murray right now?
Like, Murray has nothing to do with that story arc.
Why is Murray even in this season? Actually, let's go back.
It was just because Murray was a fan favorite.
Yeah.
So they brought him back. But interestingly, they didn't ask who's the pizza guy in season 4, who was like a staple of
Argyle?
Yeah, Argyle.
I hated that guy.
No way.
Yes,
really?
everything about the California arc just made me mad. It's just not good. I
loved Argyle. He was just like one of my favorite characters because he was just a fun, simple character, but he was just entertaining to have along for the ride. It's like Steve in season 1. Like Steve doesn't really have much of a purpose in season 1.
That's fair.
But he's just a fun character.
How did Argyle get out of Hawkins?
Dude,
where did he go?
Okay, so this is the interesting thing. Season 5, this was the thing that I probably hated the most about season 5 and their writing, is people just randomly disappear and randomly appear when it's convenient.
It's lazy.
It's so lazy. I feel like there were 18 writers and like half of them got fired halfway through the show. And then one guy was like, it was like an intern who had never worked on the show or watched it. And they were like, clean up all these storylines really quick, and then we're gonna shoot this. And that was like what they shipped.
They're just
in the final cut.
Gone.
Yeah, like literally the final episode, they just use time jumps as like their lazy shortcut, and constantly like we time jump at the beginning of the season for Argyle to disappear, for Hawkins to suddenly go through like a total makeover.
The lamest, laziest thing ever, by the way. How do you end a show or a season with the shot that season 4 ends with.
Yeah.
Like all the fire. And then you come back and there's like a monologue exposition telling you, actually, this is not going to be relevant at all this season.
Right.
It actually, the huge rifts through Hawkins, they contribute essentially nothing except that one time we're going to go through them.
Right.
There's just another big portal like there always is. That's actually what we're going to do. It's like,
Yeah.
holy.
I was like, I couldn't understand if maybe they just blew their entire budget on, I don't know, just the actors' salaries, I guess, because there's nothing really CGI heavy in the show.
Literally just like the lame mind flare monster.
Yeah, and that was it. And so I don't know, like if they just blew their budget and they were like, we can't afford to re-CGI Hawkins into like chaos and take it up from there if this is just too expensive or what. But yeah, season 4 ends on such an epic cliffhanger, and it's like, all right, so hyped. There's going to be this final battle. Like Vecna's coming back. He's definitely not dead. And like, this is just going to be sick. And then it just starts with, hello, everyone. It's been, what, 5 years or something? And like, you're in a totally different world. And the whole show just feels different.
But they're
from
all
that point
still
on.
12 somehow.
Don't worry. They're still in high school. Yeah. No, insanity. I hated that. So the time jump there really ruined season 5 because then they had to rebuild from nothing. And they had like all new sets. Like they didn't use almost any of the old locations, which was really disappointing because it's a show that's built on nostalgia. So like your strongest thing is going to be your ending where you tie everything back to the beginning.
Which they did do.
At the very, very end of the show.
For like
but
20
like,
minutes.
Yeah,
That
like
was
the whole
solid.
season could have been that. And that's what I was hoping for.
Well, the thing about this show is like anytime, if you look at it, like literally anytime they make like a big decision that changes the show, the next time they're just like, but actually, we're not going to do that anymore.
We're just going to step that back.
Hawkins is at massive war and just blew up. No. They're gone to California and they're not coming back. No.
Yeah.
Like every single time, it's like just Elle lost her powers. No,
Yeah.
we're not going to do that.
Yeah. No,
Like stop
it was-
making these things if you're not going to follow through
That
on
was
any
an
of them.
interesting arc, though, to give her in season 4.
It's fine.
Because it set them at a deficit going into the fight with Vecna.
It also let
Which
you
was
look at like her backstory, which is incredibly relevant.
Right. Right.
But still, it's just funny because there's a whole list of things that are less
Yeah.
good that they walked back.
Yep.
It's like,
Season 2, they introduce her sister. That was another, like, of all the choices of characters that you can bring back, like, I get it because it makes for their kind of convenient ending for, like, kind of killing off Elle, but not really. And, like, is she really dead? That whole thing. But aside from being, like, a convenient character to have in the show, it didn't make sense to bring her back because nobody liked her in season 2. And then they bring her back and don't bring back any of these likable characters. And then, okay, also, speaking of time jumps, I'm going to go back. Time jumps, the end for the epilogue at the very end of the show, Robin's girlfriend just disappears. She's just gone. She's just not mentioned, completely just written out.
how
She's gone.
tapped into all the Duffer Brothers like post-show interviews have you been?
Not very.
Okay.
I've seen like notes on Twitter of people just raging about what they've said. But
Basically, this is a whole like super frustrating discussion on Twitter because they'll get asked in interviews like all these questions like what happened to Robin's girlfriend? Where were the Demogorgons?
oh yeah,
And they'll literally just be like, I don't know, like I think maybe this is kind of probably what happened. And it's like, you think maybe? It's like, yeah, he probably didn't know they were having a surprise attack. It's like, you wrote that. How do you not know?
Yeah.
And then all the people in the comments on Twitter will be like, you don't need everything to be spoon fed to you. If you weren't sitting on your phone the whole show, like you would know what was going on.
that's
Why are you coming after me? He's the guy who doesn't know what happened in his own
in his
show.
own show.
Like you wrote that unless you didn't.
So I'm saying, man, the intern theory.
Have you heard about Divorcegate?
No.
So this one There was the whole conformity thing, which is the
Yeah.
dumbest thing ever, obviously. But I actually kind of believe this. So one of the Duffer Brothers was married to this woman throughout the course of writing the whole first 4 seasons. And have you ever heard of the Fear Street movies?
No.
So back in like throughout the making of the first like whole 4 seasons of the show, one of the Duffer Brothers, I can't remember which one because they're like twins, obviously. They're like they'll
look
never
almost the
be
same.
individual unless they have like a Safdie brothers arc, I guess. You
Yeah.
never know.
You never know.
But one of them was married to this woman, and in like 2022 or 2021, I don't want to like be disrespectful to her, by the way. This woman that's like really mean. I just don't know who
her
she
name.
is.
It's fine.
But there was this trilogy of movies that came out on Netflix called like Fear Street, and they all had like a different date, and they were based in like set in like different time periods and stuff. And she was like the lead writer for these movies, and they're like really well written, and they're like a very similar vibe and like conceptually to Stranger Things, and they're super well written. And so fans were looking at this, and whichever Duffer brother it was divorced this lady right before they started writing season 5. And so everybody's pretty certain that she was probably not writing the show, but almost certainly contributing in some relevant way, whether that's as like an editor or just like a writing aide or literally just like sitting and talking to him about it over dinner.
Yeah.
And honestly, that one's not so far-fetched to me.
Yeah, I know.
Like that one, I could honestly get behind that as something that might have actually caused problems for this show.
Yeah, honestly, I could see that because it literally feels like a totally different writer is attached to the show in season 5 than any other season. Like even the dialogue is just awful. Like I was watching it and I was like, okay, I actually kind of want to go on my phone now because I've seen the same thing explained every like 5 minutes.
See,
of
this
the
is
show.
you, and this is Vecna.
Every time. And then it's like the military is going to try to figure out what's going on. And I was like, I think they just have to talk to one character. They're going to restate the entire plan in 5 minutes. Just interview one person. Like you don't even have to be mean to them. They'll probably just fucking tell you because they've been doing it the whole show. Like it was so annoying.
And then after they give the whole plan, somebody else is going to be like, so you're telling me we're going to have to do these 3 things. That's impossible.
Yeah.
Shut up,
Yeah.
please.
Let's draw out one more diagram of everything that's about to happen too.
I saw a TikTok about it. They did that bit with the like bad analogies
Yeah.
like 5 times.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's throughout the show. Like
Oh, it's their
every
thing.
season.
But it's like
there's
once a
things
season.
where it's like one time in the season they're like, all right, this is our analogy so everyone can understand. And I kind of appreciate it at the beginning because it really helps you catch up to where they are in like a lot of their lore. Like the upside down is technically a really hard concept to explain, but they do a really good job of catching you up like that. And you're like, all right, I know what's going on. Right? Great setup. But then you get to season 5 and they're like, okay, so we're going to set up like 8 new concepts. But as we're doing it, we're going to over explain every single one of them as if you're 2. And then we're going to do it every 5 minutes. We're going to re-explain this concept for the entire rest of the show. Like I just remember they're in the upside down or whatever, Dimension X, whatever it is at the end, right? And they're going to fight Tatooine, and they're going to fight this monster, right? And go find Vecna and everything. And as they're walking, they're still doing more expose of what they're already there to do with each other. And I was like, if you're here, you don't need to be explained to like, oh, by the way, this is why we're here.
Why did you come if you didn't know? I'm not going to a different dimension if I'm not pretty certain what we're doing.
Right? I was like, this is so stupid. Anyway,
Wait, who's that guy in the castle again? How do we, what?
yeah.
What's this plan?
Oh my gosh. That was so frustrating.
It's just so much time wasted. It could have just been spent like...
Exactly. And that's where I feel like you're saying like you almost need another season with as much as they set up, but you kind of don't. You just need a better written season and like one more episode. and you could have tied all of that together. And that's why I was really hoping that the conformity gate thing was actually true.
I mean, we were all kind of hoping.
Because I was like, okay, if there's one more episode and it's like, psych, we got you in the last one. All right, here's a real ending that ties things together a little bit better and makes more sense. And we actually took some of the lore and like put it together. I would have been happy with that. I would have been happy if they explained where the hell Murray went at the end of the show.
He was at the graduation.
Oh, was he?
Fair. Yeah, he was
That's
there
so
with
funny.
Mr. Clark, I believe. I don't
Just
know why.
because.
It's like, why are they friends? No, maybe it wasn't Mr. Clark. He was there with somebody.
It would make sense if Mr. Clark was there.
He was definitely there.
Murray was there. That's good.
But Murray was there too. I saw him.
Good for Murray.
Yeah.
I'm glad he made it to graduation. But like, explain something that, I don't know.
The thing about the extra episode is I was sitting there and I was like, that would be kind of cool. But number one, how's your writing so bad that people are like going insane hoping that there's more? That's rough. Like if I was the Duffer Brothers, I'd be like crying myself to sleep at night right now. Number two, how would they make it better? Like how is one more episode gonna fix the problems with that stuff? Yeah. Like you just can't. It was just not good.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
it's like a Band-Aid on like a massive gaping wound.
Right. But it would have been a Band-Aid that would have saved your butt a little bit of being like, we thought about this though. Like we saved one surprise for you. And people would have been like, okay, they still care about the show versus like, I don't know. I feel like you can watch this show and be like, yeah, they totally gave up. As soon as they signed their Paramount deal, these two, the Duffer Brothers, are just like, yeah, don't really care about this show anymore, actually. I'm out of here.
I just don't understand how, like, as a creative person, you can end up at that point where you've created something so incredible, like genuinely incredible, like world-changingly incredible at a certain point, and then just stop caring about it before it's done. Like, I don't understand, like, how you lose passion for something like that. It makes no sense to me. As an actor, as a director, as a writer, like, how, like, genuinely, I get the fact that people are like, they've been doing this for 10 years, like, maybe it's getting boring. Sure, but also, like, they've been doing other things alongside. And also, like, it's incredible. Like, how do you get bored of doing something incredible? It makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, there's millions of people that would kill to be in your position, and you're bored because you just got a Paramount deal. Like, that show might be horrible.
Right. It's going to be like...
I don't know. I'm kind of scared.
Who are the brothers that did Game of Thrones? I can't remember their names.
R&R, D&D. They're called something like that.
Something like that,
I never tapped into Game of Thrones.
Okay. Great show, except for like the final episode, honestly.
I don't want to watch it because of that. I can't do it. The ending of a show is so important.
It is so important. Honestly, if you end off with the end of season 7 and you never watch season 8, like you'll be curious, but like you could just come up with your own ending in your mind and then be totally satisfied with that show. Again, amazing world building, like great show as far as all of that goes, and then just had so much trouble landing the plane. But again, they signed a massive, in this case, Netflix deal. They signed on to make Three Body Problem.
I don't even know what that is.
It's based on a sci-fi novel, and it was a bad show, was basically what came out of it. It didn't land as well as they wanted it to. But they got a massive budget to make this with Netflix. They were coming off of doing really well with Game of Thrones, and George R.R. Martin had just stopped giving them anything as far as where the show was supposed to go and like how the story was
hasn't started again, so I don't blame them for not waiting.
Right. Yeah. And so they were like, all right, we're kind of sick of this. We're getting out of this. We're just going to move on to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And so they just kind of wrote an ending that they didn't really think through, I guess, was what they ended up like coming out and saying was like, oh yeah, well, it was kind of a mistake what we wrote. And
great,
it's like,
guys, really great there. That's really awesome.
And this is the thing that gets me. Studios are so freaking picky when it comes to anything that they don't know if they're going to make money on, right? Like if you were to go pitch, I don't know, to Warner Brothers, Netflix now, you know, your next big idea of like, oh, this is going to be a great show or whatever. They're going to nitpick the hell out of your idea. And they're probably going to bring in their own writers and try to change things and try to like fix things. And they're at least going to read the script. But like Netflix in this scenario with Stranger Things or HBO in the scenario with Game of Thrones, they're just like, yeah, we're going to make money either way. We don't really care what you make. Like, just go make something. And then it ends up being so terrible that it ruins the legacy of whoever's been working on it. It's just so frustrating. I just don't, genuinely from being in production, I don't understand how those mistakes get past that many people to be like that bad of a show when it comes out.
I honestly get it getting past the studio because they're never really going to like, once it's that big, it's never really going to be that big of a problem to them.
Right.
Because even if it's bad, it's done and you made the money you
But
needed.
you should have someone reading it.
But
like, you should
I don't
care
understand how that gets past the people that were making the first season. Where did they go? Who are they? Right. Let your wife read it. I get you're like going through procedures or whatever, but let her read it. Somebody, I don't know. How does it happen? It's so bad.
Yeah.
Let the guy who wrote. How much do you know about the Broadway play? Anything?
Not much. Never saw it. I just saw a bunch of videos like talking about the Broadway play because it was relevant to season 5 to some extent. But yeah, not too much.
So I like went through and I read the Wikipedia article basically, as I do.
King of Wikipedia right here.
Of like the plot of this show because I'm never gonna go see it unless it,
I mean,
like
I don't even know.
years.
Did it come to Chicago? I don't think it did. I never like saw it on my radar of like, oh, this is.
I'm sure I would have seen something.
Right.
I think it's just on Broadway right now. It probably will eventually. So maybe I'll go see it like in like 10 years.
Right. It'll be like that Harry Potter. Yeah.
I saw that for the first time in like July. It's like it's been out for like 10 years. I was like 9 when I read the script.
Yeah.
Kept me up at night. It scared me for some reason. But like, so I read the plot for the play as I do, and it's actually like there's a lot of really good lore in there, like a really like interesting like ventures into like the actual like explanation behind like the start of Dr. Brenner's research and like the discovery of that other dimension and stuff like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's actually really interesting, and I can't for the life of me think why that stuff wasn't the focus of season 5.
Exactly. But I actually have your answer.
Do you really?
There is a spin-off show that's in development at Netflix. The Duffers are like kind of overseeing it because this is their baby, but they're not directly writing and directing it. They're going to be on as more like executive producers, I feel like, and just kind of steering where
that almost makes me feel better.
It makes me feel a lot better after season 5. But yeah, they're just kind of going to be overseeing it a little bit. But Netflix has for years wanted to do spin-offs of Stranger Things, and just bring in other writer directors and just let them, expand the world kind of thing. And that's where season 2, that's why they do that whole episode introducing her sister, Elle's
sister.
They were
trying to make a spin-off.
Right. They wanted to do a show that was going to be called like 8. And it was going to be based off of her and her adventures finding more and more kids that had escaped.
It's not a bad idea. Like, I respect them for throwing the idea
Decent
out there.
idea.
It's just everybody hated her.
Right. And it didn't land well. People didn't like the side quest and they weren't interested. And that show or that episode of the show got review bombed really hard on IMDb and stuff. So anyway, they never went anywhere with it. So then fast forward to now they're ending the show and Netflix still wants to make money off of this IP because they have it. And so they asked the Duffers to basically write into season 5 kind of an open-ended thing where they can go somewhere else with the lore. So what they're going to do is the Duffers said in one of their post interviews, this was the one that I saw a clip of, they're like, oh, the rock is important that he's holding in his hand. So in between being like, this probably happened, they said the rock is important. So
see, that actually excites me.
Yeah, it could be interesting. I feel like they'll probably go back in time and establish some of that from like the Broadway play.
Yeah.
Do a little bit on that. And then they'll probably try to just do a whole sideshow about the lab is kind of my guess, is it's just going to be mostly about the lab and about some of the kids escaping and like maybe bring back some of those ideas from 8 and stuff. But it will never directly interact with the characters that we've come to know from Stranger Things. So
Probably a good thing.
probably a good thing.
Don't get it wrong though. In like 25 years, they will all be back, and it'll be some sort of reunion crap. I promise you.
Yeah, honestly, no. So
That's half the fun of child actors is making them do it again when they're like 50.
yeah,
It
I was
happens
just
all the time.
completely unrelated, kind of. But did you see Elijah Wood is coming back to be in the next Lord of the Rings like spinoff movie that they're doing? The Hunt for Gollum. He
So
and
is
Ian McKellen. Yeah.
But they're not bringing back Viggo Mortensen for some reason.
Which
They're
doesn't make sense to
recasting
me.
Aragorn.
Yeah.
Which is just going to be...
But honestly, he's kind of old.
I mean, he does look like
Probably
a
doesn't want
grandpa.
to do his own stunts anymore. He's probably like, I'm done.
It's going to be Tom Cruise. I don't know. It's just... That kind of thing, it's like, why do it if you can't bring him back?
Right. Why? You might as well recast everyone.
You've got to recast all
gonna
three
do
of them or none of them.
Right.
Because, like, I mean, Ian McKellen is, like, ancient.
Yeah.
I get
But
that
the
Gandalf
money,
is old.
the money he's going to get out of it, he'll come back. And then also for the studio, it's just a surefire. Like, I'll go purely because I would go see any movie that's coming out. Yeah.
Is it Peter Jackson?
Kind of watch all of them. No, it's
Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis. Yeah. So it's
I mean, I'll go for
a movie
that.
about Gollum, directed by Gollum. I mean, it's got to be a good
I guess
movie.
I'll go for that.
Yeah.
Even though it kind of makes me mad.
Yeah, but yeah, in the latest offerings of child actors coming back to do things for a crap ton of money, we have that. So yeah,
Macaulay
Stranger
Culkin
Things
is
will
also
probably come
back.
Yeah, Are
Yeah.
you watching Fallout?
I'm not, but I've seen him.
Oh, yeah.
I follow him on Instagram.
Oh,
so.
nice.
I want to catch up on the show, but I was never like tapped into the game, so I just don't.
I never played the game.
Is the show good?
Show is great. I honestly,
Good to know.
Again, great world building, great lore that they're establishing.
The ending will probably be terrible.
The ending will probably suck, but it's so far so good.
Oh well.
All right, we have to wrap this up at some point.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just get into our final segment here. As anyone who's watched this show before knows, we have 1 minute now. I don't know. I don't remember how much time I used to give.
It's got to be
people.
less time.
I feel like I gave people like 10 seconds or something.
But 10 seconds per question is more than 1 minute per 10 questions, if you think about it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I did before, but anyway, the whole point is just rapid fire questions. All right. So in 1 minute, I'm going to ask you 10 questions, just random questions generated by ChatGPT. Thank you, ChatGPT, for existing for this one purpose. And otherwise, we don't like AI, and we don't support AI, especially not on this show.
Unless it's doing math.
Unless it's doing math. Connor...
My professors didn't hear that.
Connor's professors do not look into what he's been doing on his homework.
They know. They've got to know.
They're just allowing it. They
It's
just
so
don't care
bad.
at this point.
I do well on the test, so it's fun.
Yeah. That's what really matters.
Yeah, exactly. I can't use ChatGPT on the test.
Or can you?
No.
Got to get those.
I've got the Elon Musk chip in my brain.
Yeah. Got to get the microchip. All right. Ready?
No.
Connor told me he hates this segment.
It's my least favorite part. Let me have some water.
Okay. All right.
All right.
No, we're ready.
Now I'm locked.
All right. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to count you down.
I just like actively got like a
10,
little like pit in my stomach.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Question 1, what is the smell that makes you instantly uncomfortable, but you don't know why?
Uncomfortable? Oh, I don't know. Pumpkin.
If someone handed you $10,000 and said you had to spend it today, what is the dumbest way you'd spend it?
Dumbest? Gosh, what are these questions? I would buy a lazy boy.
What's something you're convinced you'd be amazing at if given 1 week to prepare?
Ooh. Come back to that one.
Okay. What's a hill that you would absolutely die on that doesn't matter at all?
I have so many of these, and they're all gone now. A hill that I would die on that does not matter at all. I believe it's all gone. This is what happens to me. I have these things. I have things like that.
If animals could sue humans, which animal would be the first in line?
The bees. You've seen the bee movie.
Oh yeah, the bees.
Also,
All
The
right.
Hill I Die On. Arthur Christmas is the best Christmas movie ever made. Ever.
I disagree, but
It's incredible.
It's a good movie.
It makes me cry every time I watch it. It just like touches my soul.
That's really sweet. I love that for you.
I don't. It's kind of embarrassing.
What is a conspiracy theory that you don't believe but wish were true? Also, our time is totally gone.
Yeah,
but
I knew. I know.
Continue.
That I don't believe, but I wish were true. I don't want to get like divorce gate, conformity gate, which we didn't even talk about somehow. Conformity gate.
Yeah, conformity gate.
That's what I wish was true.
Um,
Not really. It's such a bad idea.
if your internal monologue suddenly had a narrator whose voice would ruin your life.
Ruin my life. See, I always think it's gonna be like the opposite. Like I was just completely ready to answer like make your life awesome, but ruin my life would probably be like. I don't know. You.
It's fair. I
Probably
understand.
not true.
What's the most irrational thing that instantly puts you in a bad mood?
The Bears losing.
Ooh,
But that's pretty rational.
that's pretty rational. If you had to rename Wednesday to something else, what would you call it?
Thursday. That'd be so funny.
No hump day?
It always made me uncomfortable.
That's fair.
Except the Geico commercial with the camel. I really enjoy that one. But it'd be funny if we had Thursday and then Thursday.
Just two Thursdays
people would
in
be
a
really
row.
pissed.
That would be very annoying. I'm never putting you in charge of naming anything. What's a skill people respect that you secretly think is overrated?
What are these questions?
Random.
People respect.
Blame ChatGPT.
I don't want to be like mean. There's things coming to my head.
Be
that, like,
mean. Do it.
I don't really believe this, but like I feel like cooking is kind of overrated.
Dang.
Because I feel like
Okay.
if you just give it, like maybe this is my toxic trait, but I feel like if I had a recipe, I could probably do it.
Oh. Okay. You know what? We'll have to put that to the test on the show.
The Just
next
Joe
time.
cooking show.
We're just gonna have a million of these.
Professional chef versus Connor.
There will still be like 2 people that watch this show, but we're just gonna
It's me and
start a
you.
new one.
me and
It's
you.
us. Yeah. Okay, going back, what's something you're convinced you'd be amazing at if given 1 week to prepare?
Give me like 2 seconds. I know.
Yeah,
I
go ahead and
know.
think about this one. This is your last one.
I'm convinced I would be amazing at it if I had 2 seconds to prepare. Not 2 seconds. 2 weeks.
1 week.
A week. Okay.
1 week.
This is why I hate this segment because like I genuinely can like sit here and I can think about this question and I know I've thought about these things before, but they're just like
Yeah. No.
Gone.
No reference.
I think I would be good at. I think I could successfully learn to play any wind instrument if you gave me a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you know any wind instruments?
I play the Irish tin whistle
Okay.
pretty successfully.
Okay.
I like
So if
to
I
think.
gave you like a trumpet, you'd be good at it in a week.
That's a brass instrument.
Oh,
But I
don't really know my instruments.
think,
well.
yeah, I think aside from like,
What about a flute?
all right, that's a little harder because you have to do like the
Yeah.
mouth thing.
I've heard of flutes.
Maybe
hard.
like the clarinet or something, or the
Okay.
oboe.
All right, you guys. Thank you for joining us for another chaotic show. And
I feel like it wasn't that chaotic. It could have been worse.
yeah, that's true. It wasn't that bad. We just need to work on your timing on questions.
Well, we need to work on just not asking people questions like that.
Oh no, the questions are totally fine.
You said it's me?
ChatGPT is doing
It's
great.
my
It's
fault.
you.
How is it
You're
me?
the problem.
I don't even believe all the things I said. I like the smell of pumpkin.
It's great. It's great. You're just saying things on this show that aren't even true.
Also, people that know how to cook, I'm really sorry. I probably couldn't do that.
My uncle is an excellent chef.
I have a
You
friend
just insulted him.
whose dad is like a celebrity chef,
Dang.
but I'm not going to dox him. But he's got a podcast.
You have to send this to him.
I will.
You should try to
clip
get
this
like
bit.
on his show to talk about cooking. And
I don't know
how
if it's his
not
show or
important.
if he was just like a guest. Well, that's mean. That's like if I came on your show and I was like, filmmaking sucks.
But do you believe that?
No, I love filmmaking.
Yeah. See, so it would be an interesting conversation, though.
I mean, I could play devil's advocate
We
if you
could
want.
debate each other.
I'm a pretty
That would
good
actually
devil's
be a
advocate.
really interesting show to do.
Except I wouldn't be good at
Maybe
it.
in the future.
I wouldn't be good at it.
We'll
I
just
love
get Connor
filmmaking.
to argue every point that he doesn't believe on the show, just because.
This is the show where Connor lies a lot. And then he plays the oboe at the end. Poorly.
Which we totally have over in the corner, right over there. All right, you guys. Anyway, goodbye. Thank you for tuning into the show. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.